A completely other subject in the little time that we have left, because I know everybody wants me to talk to you about this, but I'll have to be honest, I've watched Dancing in the Stars only once in my life, and it was when you were on it.
Oh, I don't know whether to thank you or hang my head in shame.
Well, no. I was it drew me. It didn't keep me there when you were no longer on the show. But
well, I was euthanized after one episode. So.
When I watched it, and I still wonder. I'm wanting to ask you, whatever possessed you to do that? Is this part of the legacy of your father?
Yeah. Yes. My father specializes in recklessness. Actually, that is literally true.
Was it fun though?
It was great. I turned it down the first time, and then the second.
Actually, they came after you twice?
Yeah. And the second time, I told my wife about it, and she was like, "I dare you." And when your wife dares you and accuses you by implication of being a coward, you'll literally jump off the Bay Bridge, rob a liquor store. I mean, there's just no way. You know what I mean?
That's a good
That will not stand. But the remarkable thing about it was, I was remarkably bad. That was remarkable. Don't dance sober is the lesson. But I'm never afraid of TV. Obviously, I do it every day. I was terrified standing.
Different kind of audience.
Because it's live.
Different skill set.
I'm standing behind we're Television City in LA. I'm standing behind the curtain, about to go out like 30 seconds, and I literally had this fight or flight.
Flop sweat?
Worse.
I
visualized the rear entrance. I thought I have a car waiting there. I can be down La Cienega to LAX in literally 24 minutes. I can be in Cabo in 2 hours.
And
I had to get a hold of myself. And Emmett Smith was right in front of me. And I looked at him, and I guess I looked terrified because I was. And he goes, "It's going to be okay." And I was like, "Yeah, that's right."
And what about your dancing partner? Did she know that? Did you tell her that you felt that way?
We didn't have a great working relationship at that point. I think I was the only person on the show not sleeping with his partner. It was actually probably better that that she hated me. She was a very severe Russian woman.
What was her name?
Elena Grinenko. And we'd spent our practices. We actually brought her up to Maine, which confused the hell out of all the people in our little town.
She was your house guest with you and your wife?
No. She stayed at a little inn and then about 12 miles away. But she came to our little town, which was one stoplight town. People all her assistants, and it was all very flamboyant for Woodstock, Maine, I can tell you. But she spent most of her time lecturing me about how weak Americans are. And growing up under Brezhnev, we have one piece of chewing gum, and we chew it for 8 months, and every night we color it with a crayon.
Political.
She literally told me that.
Political.
It was totally political, and I was
thought
like
she was on your show.
Soft, pathetic American. You don't want to work hard. I was like, come on, honey.
Are you
it's
guys
just
dancing yet, or was this a prelude to your dancing?
Oh no, this was during it.
So this was getting to know each other?
Oh, we never got to know each other. It was like her. Well, I was actually late to practice because I was in Lebanon for the war, and I couldn't get back, and so I missed about 3 weeks of the practice, and she was annoyed by that. And I thought I had a valid excuse.
So you two were already...
but she thought I was being like a wuss, I didn't want to show up for it.
Well, it's interesting to know that you'd already had this discourse, so to speak, and then you finally get into a rehearsal hall, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that must have been...
It was intensely ugly, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then,
well, it didn't show on the air.
Well, and she also, her boyfriend, this guy called Max on the show, had been having an affair with one of the other contestants. And that put her in a really bad mood. And
it sounds like they should have been putting the behind the scenes on
well, the air. They did. It was actually, Mark Leibovich from the Times came and did a Sunday Styles piece on it, and he's very perceptive, and he kind of picked up the underlying tension.
Drama.
She would always say to me, "Stop talking!" It's I talk for a living. I'm a yappy guy. It's that's who I am.
Yeah, who did she think?
Concentrate.
Oh, God. If you had it all to do over again, what would you do differently?
Oh, I never changed anything about my life. I've really enjoyed it.
No, but if they called you up to come back on and repeat, would you not go to Lebanon?
No.
Or you just wouldn't go back?
You mean having already done it?
Yeah. What would you do differently?
Oh, no. You never revisit the scene of
that
kind of thing. No. No, it's like a crime scene. I don't sneak past the police tape. I just keep going.
But there are reports you're going to do a game show for CBS.
I've done it, yeah.
You've done it's in the can? Tell us about it.
It's a good show, actually.
Well, so it shows you did go back to a version of the scene of the crime. You went back
try
to Hollywood.
anything.
Is this done in Hollywood?
Yeah. But I'm from
with a studio audience?
Yes, with a
no fright or flight? You were able to...
No, because I was in control.
You were in control.
When you're hosting, you don't have to sit.
What is the name?
It's called Do You Trust Me? No, it's not.
Me?
I got railroaded into calling my name Tucker, which I actually hated. profoundly, and
Do
it's
it
one of the
for
very
us.
few things
Tucker?
no, I can't.
Okay.
I never, in the year I did that show, I never referred to the name of the show a single time in the year, not once,
Okay.
because I so despised it.
So you knew going into this negotiation that you did not want to call your new show.
No,
Babe.
it's called Do You Trust Me? I got it totally. There's a guy called Billy Bush who hosts Access Hollywood.
You probably get confused with each other.
Well,
all
he's
the
my
time.
friend from. I went to high school with him, and I've
But
known
still,
him.
you probably
Yeah,
get confused
well, no,
with each
not
other.
really.
all the
I don't know
time.
anything about celebrities, but we dated sisters in
appearance,
high school. So I was at dinner at his house in L.A., and I sat next to this guy who's a game show producer, and he's like, you ought to do a game show. And I was like, I don't even watch television. I'm trying to. He's no, you really should. And so he called me a couple months later. He's like, come on out and do this game show, and I loved it. It's called
Tucker, what is it about you that people would say something like that to you?
Wine. I think he was drinking. But I'm open. I mean, I'll do
Tucker,
anything.
you ought to be on a dancing show. Tucker, you ought to have a game show.
I tried to do. They asked me to do
Tucker,
Fear
you ought to
Factor, and
run
I
for
said
the
yes.
Libertarian ticket.
No.
So when does it air?
It airs this summer, I think.
It's a summer like replacement show?
We shot half a season, and they're casting for the second half. And actually, it's
Is
funny.
it all in a studio?
It's in a studio.
Okay, so they don't
Well,
put
no,
you into situations where you have to
Well,
be...
no, they actually have a cast of thousands going around the country interviewing people. There are lots of tape segments. You learn about the people's lives.
Okay.
One of them is lying. It's actually quite dramatic. I was totally into it when I was doing it.
And do you know what your time slot, your night of the week is
I have
gonna be?
no idea. That's up to Les Moonves, and
What do you make of Les Moonves?
I think he's a genius.
Do you think he should get rid of Kate?
No, I like Les Moonves, actually.
Do you think he should get rid of Katie Couric?
You know, I think, frankly, someone should apologize to Katie. Like, I'm the only defender of Katie Couric. I like hopeless causes, frankly, and I do. Because, look, I've been there. I've been attacked a lot. I think Katie Couric is taking undue abuse. I don't think it's Katie Couric's fault. I really don't. And I mean that.
Do you think it's Les Moonves' fault?
No, I think it's I think it's a decline of the form. You know, do you watch nightly news every night?
No.
You do?
No.
Of course you don't. And I bet you
I have
don't know
other sources.
Anybody who does. Well, that's just it. It's nobody's fault. It's that the time slot and the custom in American life is disappearing. And so anybody in that role is going to suffer.
Well, our time is up, and you've got to get to Maine.
Yes.
And we'll be looking for your show.
Thank you.
And we'll be interested to see whatever the next manifestation is of your very interesting life.
I'm kind of psyched to find out, but first, fishing.
First fishing. Well, thank you. Have
Thank
a
you,
happy
Carol.
summer.
I
And
appreciate
thank
it.
you all. See you next
Thanks.
week.